West Bengal is witnessing what can only be described as a massive, mammoth democratic surge, with voters turning out and the turnout crossing 90% mark in the phase 1 as of 1 hour ago. This is an extraordinary number even by the state's high electoral standards. By 5 p.m. itself, polling booths were buzzing with long queues, reflecting intense voter enthusiasm across constituencies. But the big political question now is, what is driving this surge? Is it pure electoral enthusiasm, or is it the SIR factor playing a silent but decisive role in mobilizing voters on the ground? And as campaigning for phase 2 intensifies, both Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah are already reading this turnout as a sign of shifting political winds in Bengal. The narrative battle has clearly begun even before the final votes are counted. The numbers on your screens very shortly, and they're on your screens right now, are telling a remarkable story of West Bengal. A West Bengal that has delivered a historic mandate in terms of participation of voters. Now, phase 1 of the 2026 assembly polls, which is currently still on, has already crossed 90% mark, a sharp jump from 81.64% back in 2021. In total, 82.67% in 2016 and even a higher 84.33% recorded in 2011. This isn't just incremental growth, this is a surge that stands out across election cycle. The big takeaways: Bengal's voter is not sitting at home, they're not sitting out on this election. The scale of participation signals heightened stakes, sharper political engagement and possibly a defining electoral moment in the state. The SIR debate has also been one of the most talked about issues this election, and now the question is whether it has directly translated into higher voter turnout or not. Political parties across the spectrum are aggressively mobilizing voters around the issue, turning it into a central campaign plank. But does the higher turnout mean polarization, or does it reflect greater democratic participation? And the most important one is SIR pushing even the silent voters to now step out and vote. Even as voting unfolds, political messaging is already taking shape. Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Shah addressing rallies in West Bengal today for the second phase of campaigning have pointed to higher voter turnout as a clear indication that the winds of change are sweeping the state. Both leaders have also suggested that such massive participation reflects a desire for political shift, hinting that voters are looking beyond the status quo. But is this interpretation politically convenient, or does it really reflect ground reality? That's the key question. Listen in to what the Prime Minister and Home Minister had to say.
देश में जहां जहां भारी मतदान हुआ है, वहां बीजेपी को प्रचंड विजय मिली है, प्रचंड विजय मिली है।
भाइयों बहनों, पहले चरण में दीदी के कोई गुंडे का हिम्मत नहीं हुआ कि बंगाल के मतदाताओं को उंगली भी उड़ा कर देख ले। जिस मात्रा में 80% से ज्यादा मतदान 4.5 तक हुआ है, वो बताता है कि पहले चरण में दीदी का सुपड़ा साफ होने वाला है भाई।
And a 90% plus turnout is never just a number, it's a signal of heightened political engagement, of stakes being perceived as high and of voters wanting their voices to be heard loud and clear. But high turnout can cut both ways. It can indicate a way for change, or it can also signal consolidation in favor of the incumbent. As Bengal moves into the next phase of polling, one thing is certain, that this battle is no longer just about campaigning, it's about interpreting the message behind this massive voter surge. But at the same time, there's also a second story coming to light from Bengal, and that is despite unprecedented deployment of over 2 lakh security personnel and central forces, the 2026 assembly polls are once again witnessing a familiar scene, and some of those pictures will try and bring on our screens scenes of violence coming from Murshidabad at the beginning of the day, highlighting the state's long-standing pattern of election day unrest. Incidents ranging from clashes, intimidation and allegations of voter suppression continue to surface even as authorities attempt tighter control. And while officials claim violence has been relatively contained this time, the recurrence underscores a deeper structural issue where electoral competition routinely spills over into the street level conflict. And with a history of poll-related deaths since 2006, Bengal's election remains much about security management as it is about the massive democratic participation. Joining me on the show is Dr. Shantanu Hussain, former MP Rajya Sabha from TMC, Joy Malik, spokesperson for the BJP, Dr. Pooja Tripathi, spokesperson for the Congress Party, and Nirmala Mukherjee, senior journalist. All right, before I come to any of you for that matter, I think there's some breaking news coming in as far as Bengal's voter turnout is concerned. West Bengal has now recorded 91.3% voter turnout. That's a historic number there, 91.3% as of 6 p.m. We'll try and update that data regularly at regular intervals as and when we get it. But Dr. Shantanu Hussain, what are you making of this data? There is, of course, a very divided opinion. The BJP is saying that this essentially means it works in our favor. That this essentially means that people want change. They're coming out in huge number to vote for that change. What are you making of this data?
First of all, I would not have been surprised if the voting percentage would have touched 95% or more. There are certain reasons behind it. Number one, the way this BJP-led and BJP-governed election commission threatened the common voters, that those who will not be having their voting rights, they will be sent to the detention camp, they will be sent to Bangladesh, this and that, in the form of NRC, their name will be deleted, they will be forced to leave their country. So people became panicky and that's why they stood in the queue to vote, number one. Number two, the way in the name of SIR, 91 lakhs of voters have been deleted. Amongst them, most of them were the legitimate and valid voters.
Okay.
So naturally, if you consider the percentage per booth on an average, so many votes have been deleted. So the denominator has come down. So naturally, that if the same number of voters vote in comparison to the previous election, as the total number of votes in that particular booth has come down, so naturally it will show that more number of voting percentage. And last but not the least, today in the first phase of election, people of Bengal, after making their mind, they stood in the queue just not to give a befitting reply to this anti-poor, anti-women, anti-Bengal and anti-Bengali Bharatiya Janata Party, but to strengthen further Mamata Banerjee by making her Chief Minister for the 4th consecutive time, because they have realized by now that there is only one political party and one political leader, that is Mamata Banerjee-led Trinamool Congress, which can oust this BJP, this anti-poor, anti-woman, anti-people, anti-national political party from the soil of India. That's why, in order to give a befitting reply, they stood in the queue, and these are the reasons why the voting percentage is so high.
Okay. So you have your own reason for why voting percentages are high. Joy Malik, would you agree with that assessment? I mean, clearly the number of voters participating in the electoral process has gone down. I mean, there's no denying that. About 90 lakh voters are not participating this time around. But even then, you know, this can prove or hint at either ways. It can mean that vote base is now consolidating, but it can also mean what, you know, Home Minister is trying to say, that people want some sort of change now in West Bengal. It's been 15 long years of Mamata Banerjee's rule.
Look, you have to understand that it is not a matter of 15 years. The thing is that what this Trinamool Congress government have done in the last 15 years. Now, if you just go through the track record, just on the second year of this government, they started their corruption system. And when the investigations and the details of the investigations are coming up, we are seeing that the Kuntal and all these stuff, all these municipal records are coming up, which started from 2012. So their agenda was corruption. Their agenda was never the development part. Now, look, the SIR actually, obviously, it has a big big role to play over here, because the first and foremost, the SIR or the Election Commission said that the people who have died and the names are still in the voter list, they are not supposed to be there. Just tell me one thing, why the Chief Minister of Bengal had to cry on that? So obviously, the
Connection
person who
করতে
is
লাগলো
not he is alive, the person is dead. That person is not coming to vote. That person is not coming to poll. So why the Chief Minister of Bengal has been crying on this part? We are really confused on that. Now, obviously, the anti-incumbency is a very big factor why the people of Bengal have decided, and absolutely, this is a very, very clear message that this is the sunset of corruption, which has started in Bengal and which has begun with a very nice thing that now at 6 p.m. we came to know it's 91.4%, 40%. It's a voter turnout, which we can see in Bengal and which is really massive. Look, the Trinamool Congress had built an institutional structure to build up a vote bank, which is actually fake. They used to bring in people from Bangladesh. They used to provide them fake Aadhaar cards. They used to provide them with fake address proofs, provide them with fake voter cards, and they used to keep them just to vote for Trinamool Congress. We have came through these people like Seb Shah. So he had two voter cards. He already voted for two Vidhan Sabhas, two assembly constituencies. Just imagine. And this happens in Bengal. And exactly for this reason, this SIR was very much required. And next, obviously, if you see the youth, they don't have jobs. If they're applying for jobs, they are being asked for
Okay.
give the cut
So,
money.
so if I,
And female
if you
voters
were
also.
to, if you were to sum it up, you're essentially saying that people are coming out in huge numbers because they want change, because they want better governance.
Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Dr. Pooja Tripathi, Rahul Gandhi came out today, this afternoon after that massive voter turnout. He said that if Mamata Banerjee government had done a better job at managing the state of West Bengal, hadn't polarized, then perhaps BJP would not be winning. Now, Congress party clearly suggests that, by the way of this statement, that perhaps BJP is making some inroads and making gains there as far as 2026 assembly elections is concerned. I'm going to go back to what Mamata Banerjee keeps alleging, that the Congress and the left are in fact the B team of the BJP when it comes to West Bengal.
When Rahul Gandhi said that BJP is making inroads into West Bengal election, he meant the exercise of, in coalition with Election Commission of India, the exercise of SIR. The massive voter percentage that we have seen is not something to be celebrated, because it's a matter of survival for Bengalis. 91 lakh people have been, not allowed to vote. And the column of logical discrepancy for the first time has been introduced in Bengal Special Intensive Revision Exercise. It was not there a few months back in Bihar. And what is logical discrepancy? If there is some discrepancy between my father's name, address, and which always happens in election commission, despite you being in the voted in 2023 or 2024, you are put in this logical discrepancy, and now you have to run pillar to post from BDO or DM in the scorching heat. They're migrant laborers who have to let go of their one-day, wages, and this has been, the whole process has been excruciating. A Kargil veteran has seen his name struck off. A retired High Court judge has seen his name struck off. Somebody whose family is in Air Force for decades, for generations, seen their name struck off. Somebody whose family has been the illustration of our Constitution of India has seen their name struck off. So now people want to know, people want to assert there that, I am the voter of Bengal, and this is the massive voting percentage. So when Rahul Gandhi said that, where BJP is trying to make inroads into Bengal, it's all because of the game they are playing. And that's why the whole exercise of SIR, we have been opposing it from day one.
Yeah,
and,
but
and it has been,
I understand that. I understand what you're saying as far as SIR is concerned. But, to quote him exactly, he's saying that if Mamata Banerjee had run a clean government, had not polarized Bengal, BJP would not have been able to rise. So he's clearly therefore recognizing the rise of BJP.
The rise of BJP is an obvious fact, Shweta. You have to accept it.
You
No,
know,
they are.
that's also fine,
Doing
Pooja,
their
but it's coming at a day when Bengal is going to vote. So instead of focusing on where the Congress party stands in the electoral process,
Congress
he's
party stands electorally with the people of Bengal. We
okay.
have been fighting with all our might, with all our struggle. And it's important to point out the differences. It's important to point out the difference that why can't Kolkata be the next Hyderabad or Bengaluru? Why the industries are moving out of West Bengal? And the state government is aptly to be blamed for it. And that's why I'm saying when Rahul Gandhi said BJP is trying to make India's first, he mentioned the SIR exercise, which is a God sent opportunity, election commission sent opportunity to the Bharatiya Janata Party to make elections in to form state government. But here there needs to be called about there needs to be called
Okay.
the absolute rowdy catcalling by Bharatiya Janata Party leaders, the promises of bringing you sun, moon, and stars. This is the same party who has not as yet given the cash transfers to the voters of women voters of Delhi, who have not given free cylinders to UP women who were promised in Diwali and Eid, and now they are promising the sun, moon, and stars. So Bharatiya Janata Party is a big Jumlebaz party, and I'm very very happy with the way we are a third rank. We have been out of power for so long, but we have fought the elections with all our might and
Okay.
all our
And
resources.
I want to know what you make of how people are looking at the Congress party. But I'll come to you in just a bit. Nirmala Mukherjee is also with us. Nirmala, looking at the way elections have been conducted this time around in the phase one itself, about 3 to 4 constituencies, 3 to 4 seats have reported some sort of violence. So intermittent violence, perhaps not the kind of violence that West Bengal saw last elections or elections prior to that. Would you say that this was in fact a well-conducted election this time around? Relatively
Yes,
peaceful, large
yes,
participation.
I would rather say that because in my life as a journalist, in the last 4 decades, I have watched 9 elections. And in most of the elections, in many elections, I have found that within 12 o'clock or within 1 o'clock, dead bodies being thrown aside. 38 dead bodies were there in 2021. Prior to that, during left-run regime, in one occasion, there were 67 dead bodies. So these things had happened. This time, it's only pushing and stopping, and these things are there. These we never took into consideration as a senior journalist. So in a way, what the Chief Election Commissioner has said for the CEO, that I am pretty happy with the way you have conducted the elections. It's a more or less decent election. But the point is, if you're talking about vote, do you want me to deliberate on that
Absolutely,
also?
absolutely. Go ahead.
Because I've been watching elections for 9 elections. This is my 9th election. So the thing is that, you see, rights are of two kinds. Voting is a right. Here, the people are defending their rights or people are executing their rights. Defending the right means it's a negative view. That SIR has taken away a lot of rights and I am going to defend it as much as possible. And execution of the rights is Election Commission is giving me an opportunity to change what we call the anti-incumbents. So there is a balance. There is a very subtle balance between change and defense. You will have to make it down. That can only be reflected on the 4th.
Okay.
And
But
firstly,
I'm sure you've spoken to a lot of people.
Yes, I have spoken to some people.
Yeah.
So I'll give you in
Are they
summation.
voting? Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
I'll give you. Well, in summary, I won't give this. This is a very balanced answer. But the point is that the voting deletion was around 11%. The polling has gone up by 9%. Almost. 83 was the last one. Then after that, it went up to, this time it has gone up to 90, 91, 90. So effectively, it's 11 and 9. That is almost 20%. So 11% is not there, 9% is added. It's a very, very delicate balance. SIR being the Y factor, not the X factor, being the Y factor, which is seen, how are the people reacting to SIR? That is very important. But as of now, the way the BJP leaders are laughing, it shows that they are one. And at the same time, Mamata Banerjee has clarified today itself in a meeting that why are the people voting so heavily? Because Number one, they want to defend their rights. That is the negative view of the thing. You get an opportunity to vote and you get an opportunity to defend. How do you strike the balance? Overall, it seems in theory of politics, when there is a heavy turnout, it is always anti-incumbency and things are changing. Changing in what way, it is not known. It could be, look, you see, 83% polling was there in 2021.
Okay.
It came down to 79% in 2024. Now it has gone up to 92%. So this significant shift of polling is definitely, you will have to wait until the second phase comes up. What happens in the second phase, then only you will be able to say whether BJP has made it or Mamta has made it.
Okay.
Subhendu Adhikari claims it's 125 seats. Mamta says BJP will lose. And it's a clear mandate against SIR. BJP says we have ensured voting rights. TMC says we have defended voting rights. Now you will have to decide. As a journalist, as an analyst, I can say, I can only place it on the table. It is for you to decide how you look at it.
Okay.
Defending or executing.
Okay, defending or exercising. That's an interesting theory. What are people of Bengal doing today? What will they be doing in the second phase? Will they be defending their right or will they be exercising their franchise? Dr. Shantanu Sen, you know, the balance can quickly tilt in favor of the BJP. BJP, in fact, is already claiming victory. BJP is saying the people are exercising their right. They're not defending their right. They're coming out in large number. And if you go by the arithmetic that Nirmala has put out for us, he's making it clear 11% were taken out, 9% have been added. That's a massive 20% difference. And so this could clearly hint at perhaps a sea of change. Dr. Shantanu Sen?
The top leaders happen to be the habitual daydreamers. Nothing wrong in it. The same thing they said in 2021 that we will be crossing 200. They got only 77 and finally that has come down to 65, 66. In 2024 parliament election, they claimed that they will be getting 32 to 35 MP seats. That has come down to 12 from 18, which they got in the year 2019. This time, the way in the name of SIR valid voters have been deleted, the way 2 lakh crores of rupees has been withheld, the way the funds for Narega, Abbas Yojana, Jal Jeevan Mission and many other national projects have been withheld, the way Bengali people have been harassed, the migrant workers who have gone to different states just because of they were speaking in Bengali, they used to be stamped as Bangladeshi. Considering all this time people of Bengal who got the opportunity to vote, not a single voter is supposed to vote in favor of this anti-Bengal and anti-Bengali Bharatiya Janata Party. And I am sure this is going to be proved on 4th of May by 12 noon. No calculation of BJP will become true. And finally, once again, Bengal will remain with pro-people, pro-poor, pro-farmer, pro-laborer, pro-woman and pro-development
Okay,
Mamata Banerjee and
that's
Trinamool Congress.
a good script there. I have to ask Joy Malik. Bengal has historically resisted BJP. What changes this time around materially for you to believe that people are voting for you beyond the rhetoric, beyond the leadership projections? I want to understand what has changed materially for you in Bengal today, where you believe that BJP's time has come.
Firstly, people who think that the party who have come up from 3 to 77, why can't that party score 177 from 77? So this is one. And next is, see, the difference is 2021, what we see is what you saw is 81.64% voter turnout. It comes up in 2026 at 91%. That's absolutely a 10% more, a 10% growth in the voter turnout. Now I'll tell you one thing, the major difference, what we see, what we have seen today in this phase of election, that is no bombs hurled, no guns retrieved, no murders. So this is a different picture and people of Bengal wanted a change. I guess this is the biggest change what have already started. And what I was actually saying is Madam Pooja was talking about Nari Shakti and female voters. I just want to remind one thing in Bengal. People of Bengal, especially female voters of Bengal, didn't forget Sandesh Khali. They didn't forget RG Kaur. They didn't forget Law College. And they actually have set in the mind one speech of the CM. That is, the CM is saying, if you have any problem, don't go out after 8 p.m. in the night. And this is a female chief minister addressing like to the female voters of Bengal. So after that, what do you expect? So
All right.
Obviously.
All right, Nirmala, you want to respond before I come to
I just have a small point for the viewers. You see, I was talking about defending and exercising. Shamsherganj in Murshidabad, they are the smallest constituency this time. 1,60,000 voters around. This time, in this 152. They polled 96% votes. So 96% in Shamsherganj, 95% in Bhagwan Gola. So it is the Muslim community who are polling heavily there. It is all going in favor of TMC. It's easily deductible, number one, and they're defending their rights. By the side of it, Bankura, out of 12 seats, BJP had 8 to 9 seats. Their polling is around 93%. They are exercising their rights. That is the reason you cannot strike a definite balance whether BJP is winning or TMC is losing.
Okay, so it's going to be a very delicate balance. Dr. Tripathi, last word to you. This looks like a bipolar contest from the face of it. It's BJP versus TMC. Why hasn't Congress been able to build an independent narrative so far in Bengal? And in your assessment, is Congress relevant today in Bengal, or is it going to cut out votes for the BJP or TMC either ways? What's your assessment of where Congress is in Bengal today? Could you unmute yourself, ma'am?
I will answer your question in a short while. I want to answer to my Bharatiya Janata Party fellow spokesperson, Jai Malik, because, Bharatiya Janata Party should take one stand and they should not speak in favor of women, because when they speak in favor of women, their bigotry and their double burdenness, it just falls through. They have been silent on Manipur, they've been silent on Brij Bhushan, they've been silent on Kuldeep Singh, they've been silent on Ankita Bhandari, and they're cherry-picking women issues. And I'm sure my fellow Bengali male friends, my fellow female Bengalis, they are well aware, they are well intentioned to look through your double speak. They will question you. They have questioned Mamata Banerjee and RG Kaur, and they will question you. And why have you been absolute silent on Manipur, on Kulbhushan, on Kuldeep Singh, on everybody? So I think I'll advise Bharatiya Janata Party to not say anything on
all said and done, I think women as constituents, as voters, remain an important, for that matter, vote bank for all parties in fray at the moment, and they'll be watching very, very closely as to who promises them better administration. Clearly, there have been some immense failings of the TMC in the past, and I think women voters will be deciding whether they would want to continue Mamata Banerjee or whether they'll be voting for change.